The Gen says how I wish they were a game changer, but they will not be a game changer. The reason is the Gen Zs have not registered as voters. And those who have registered as voters will not turn out to vote. Because in politics, there is different types of votes. We have protest vote, we have sympathy vote, we have persuaded votes. So that is sometimes you hear that in this particular area, people are not sure whom they will vote. So those we call them persuaded votes, whoever who will persuade them. Then we have decided votes, then undecided votes.
Yeah.
So in politics, if you packet yourself as a poor man and come up very clearly, you win sympathy votes. So those guys survive on sympathy vote. In politics, there is two things, interest and betrayal.
Okay.
So the shifting and alignment will take place. And it will take place till the last day after nominations. Because, for example, the shifting that is taking place, there is an exodus from DCP back to government,
UDA, yes.
and to UDA that is in particular.
Yes.
And those people who are moving back, the likes of Mheshimiwa Mushomba, Koimburi, just to mention a few, they also have some claims that the DCP party leader wants a lot of money from them, so to run the party. So that is the reason they are coming back.
Well, great to see you. Welcome to these great, amazing conversations right here at the Kenya Times. Conversations that I do say helps our policymakers to make the right decisions. Also, allow me to remind you that if you'll need any business partnership together with the Kenya Times, don't hesitate to reach us through the contact that has been provided below. We have millions of audience, thousands of followers, and that means we're in a good position to make your brand visible. Well, this is 2026 and it is only 1 year to the general election in 2027 August. What are some of the political realignments that we should expect throughout this year and their possible chances of winning the 2027 general election? Without forgetting the parties or the coalition that are in good position even if the elections were held today. So those are some of the conversation I'm going to have right here together with my guest, who is a new face right here at the Kenya Times. I'm talking of Mr. Chapia Chapia. He's a communication expert as well as an electoral expert. So follow us throughout this conversation until the end. I'm your host, Nixon Njau. Mr. Chapia Chapia, welcome to the Kenya Times.
Thank you very much.
And good to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
First and foremost, Mr. Chapia Chapia, you have been away for a very long time.
Yes.
Where have you been?
I've been working and hustling.
Yes.
And doing some business, traveling, and learning some new things abroad, South Sudan,
Yes.
South Africa, and just doing my studies. I'm now a student at University of Nairobi.
Okay.
Doing a PhD course, so I'll be graduating I think in the next graduation.
Wow,
So that's what I've been busy doing.
Okay,
Yes.
that's quite amazing.
Yes.
And you know, the last time when we saw you, you know, it was during 2017 senatorial,
Yes.
you know, aspiration that you
Yes.
had.
Yes.
And also during that time, that
Yes.
was the moment you were very vocal.
Yes.
But good, you are here today.
Yes.
And nice to see you. How is the going?
The going is tough, but the going is good.
Yes.
At least the country is moving forward.
Yes.
I am happy we are headed to Singapore.
Absolutely.
I hear the president saying we are headed to Singapore. The
Yes.
shilling has stabilized. The political temperature, they are boiling, but in a brotherly way. So I think we are doing well.
Yeah.
2017, Sifuna snatched my ticket. I still have that ticket. One of these days we will meet at ballot.
At the ballot
At
again.
the ballot, and
Okay.
the people of Nairobi will determine who was the actually
Who was the real guy?
Who was the real guy?
Okay, we will talk about that when we conclude this conversation.
Yes.
But first and foremost, we are in 2026, and you know, we have only 1 year to the 2027 general election.
Yes.
So, and at the beginning of this year, we experienced a lot of shifts. You know,
Yes.
we saw some of the member of parliaments, you know, moving away from the, you know, from the opposition side, especially DCP, going back to the government side, that is UDA. And I'm talking of, you know, Githunguri member of parliament, Honorable, you know, Wamushomba, and also George Koimburi from Juja. But we also want to see the reflection of 2026. Should we expect such shifts and, you know, dynamics in our politics?
Good, thank you. The politician first, I want you to understand that the politicians are ambitious people. And in politics, there is two things, interest and betrayal.
Okay.
So the shifting and alignment will take place. And it will take place till the last day after nominations. Because, for example, the shifting that is taking place, there is an exodus from DCP back to government,
UDA, yes.
and to UDA, that is in
Yes.
particular.
Yes.
And those people who are moving back, the likes of Mheshimiwa Mushomba, Koimburi, just to mention a few, they also have some claims that the DCP party leader wants a lot of money from them, so to run the party. So that is the reason they are coming back. Others are coming back by saying that now the ground is changing. Because in politics is local. So most of the decisions that are made by politicians, they are made by locals. They are not independent decisions. Because you want to run in Githunguri, where Mshomba comes from, and the voters, from maybe your internal research, the voters are telling you that here in Githunguri, for you to survive, you must go back to UDA. So as a member of parliament, whether your heart is in DCP or wherever, you will follow your voters. So most of the political decisions, political parties and alignments are dictated by the voters. So most politicians are caught between a hard rock because your heart is in political party A, but your voters wants you to be in a political party B, and for you to win to go to parliament, you need those voters. So that is how you shift. So politics is a game of alignment. So towards 2022, and remember, power attract. Now UDA is in government.
Absolutely.
So most of the people will want to move to government for various reasons. And also most of the people, after the parliament is dissolved, most of the people will want also, dismissed, will also want to move from government to DCP. So that is one of the alignments. Another alignment, we have broad-based government. So the aspect of broad-based government, there is some politicians who are in support of broad-based government. They will align there. There is some politicians who are against, so they will go against. Then also inside ODM, there is some alignment. There is the young revolutions, the likes of Sifuna, Babo, Wino, Soti, and Kaleba Misi, led by by their elder Orengo. So those who are against two-term in ODM, they have aligned that way. Those like the likes of Gladys Wanga, the party leader Mzee Oburu, the youth leader, the likes of Governor Arati and all other peoples, now they are in two-term. They have aligned. So those alignments are dictated by the voters and ideologies.
But Mr. Chapia, you have said that, you know, politics is about interest, you know, and you see where you want to be. But you have also mentioned about the ground being one of the, you know, important, you know, thing that maybe made these politicians to shift. Don't you think, what does it mean, especially now, this year, 2026, when we see such politicians, you know, making shifts?
The politicians don't make shift. It is the circumstances that forces politicians, that dictates where to go to. For example, if you are running for any political office, for example, I can use like Koimburi. Koimburi was running in Juja, and he was a DCP person. But according to him, he's saying that the reason why he's getting or coming back to government is because of the financial demands of the party leader of DCP, the Rigiji. The same thing is happening to Mushomba. So that is one factor. Then, now Koimburi is also claiming that the people of Juja have told him he must be in government. Because Juja is one of the constituencies in the country without tarmac roads. The only major road in Juja is Thika Highway. But if you go to the feeder roads, most of them, the percentage of the tarmac road is a bit low. So Koimburi is claiming he is coming back to government for development. So there is various reasons. But the bottom line reason is the interest that politician has. You want to win. Your people want you in opposition, you go to opposition. So the alignments, they depend on voters. The politicians are influenced to align. For example, if you go to a place like Rift Valley, all the politicians who are not aligned to UDA, most of them, they lost. For President Ruto, they lost. Now, most of those politicians, now they have come back to UDA. and they are coming back to UDA because it is the voters. The ground may change. The grounds want UDA.
Yeah.
Candidates. So if you want as a politician, maybe you want to be a member of parliament or to go to county assembly. So you change. So the alignments, number one, it is the voters that dictates that alignment. Number two, it is the presidential candidate. If you have a strong presidential candidate in an area, and you are in a political party that is against that presidential candidate, then you lose. Because those alignment are supposed to be aligned as per that presidential candidates.
Yes.
Another thing is the financial muscles. Sometimes the politicians are forced to align because if you align with this Mrengo, you can be facilitated or sponsored.
Properly.
Yes, properly. And if you align with this particular alignment, you lose or you struggle. So sometimes money plays a key role. So that is another factor that is leading to alignment. Then another factor that is leading to alignment is ideologies. Maybe those who are in UDA, they believe that the ideology of UDA is moving Kenya from third world country to Singapore to the first world country. So if you like that idea of growth, radical change of first world countries, you align with that. Those in united opposition or Akina Sifunas, they believe that their problem is the president in UDA. So those who want to align with that ideology of one term, they join that camp. But mostly, those are some of the issues that lead to alignment. But the main one is the voters on the ground.
And before we continue, you have talked about, financial muscle.
Yes.
And being as one of those who contested before,
yes,
how much does someone needs to vie maybe for an MCA seat, MP seat?
Good.
Senatorial and
yes,
even
there is a
all the way
research
to presidency.
Yes, there is a research that was conducted in Kenya after the 2022 general election on the cost that it required. This research was sponsored by Island government. I'll share, the books are online, I'll share even the link. So for any person in Nairobi, the cost differs. But if I use the examples of Nairobi, for you to run for an MCA seat in Nairobi, the least you need to have is 4.2 million.
4.2 million?
4.2 million, you will be able to have logistics, which comes to around 5 million for you to run for MCA seat in Nairobi. For you to run for a parliamentary seat in Nairobi, putting logistic, printing of the merchandise and all that and everything, expenses, you will need around 35 million. So if you don't have 35 million, you will not be able to run because the logistics and the merchandise that has involved advertising, marketing, it is damn expensive. For you to run for a women rep or a senator in Nairobi, if you don't have around 70 million Kenya shillings, that is not 70 million, 170 million, 10 million per constituency. Then it becomes very difficult. Unless you are attached to a presidential candidate who will now, as you will be going around, you can joyride or accompany him. Yes. So that is what most candidates, they do. You align, or you align with a stronger gubernatorial candidate. Because in Nairobi, for gubernatorial candidate, below 400 million, almost $500 million. If we don't have that money, join a church group and seek for a position in a church somewhere.
And go and be a church elder.
Be a church elder or contest or something, a woman leader in the church.
So what you mean is that money also dictates politics?
Money dictates the politics of Nairobi because politics is a logistical. Politics is persuasion, it's marketing. And for you guys in media, you know how it is expensive to do marketing. Even billboards. If you check billboards here on Ngong Road, to put a billboard on Ngong Road for only 3 months is 600,000. How many can afford that? So politics is marketing. Politics is persuasion. And we persuade people through goodies, through logistics, through buying them food, through supporting them and all that. So one of the main factors in Kenyan politics is finances. And that is why 95% of people will win because of finances. But we have a few who wins without finances.
I was to come there.
Yes, like the other guy in Maua. He didn't have anything and he won.
And even Honorable Salasia.
Yes, so those are exceptional cases.
And it is rare.
It is rare. 98% you must have money.
And what about the presidency? How much do you need?
The president is
Billion?
it is damn expensive. If you are running for president to go around Kenya to facilitate the move, remember politics, if you are running for presidency, you are also running for merchandise across the country. You will have agents across the country. You will have mobilizers across the country. You will have supporters across the country. You will have trucks and you will need choppers to move across the country. So if you are running for presidency, if you don't have around 10 billion Kenya shillings, I think that's a no-go zone.
So you're going to lose.
You're going to lose. You will not be even able to reach people in Busia. You will not be able to reach people in Lamu, because per day, you find out that towards the end of election, per day, presidential candidates, you can have 10 rallies in different corners of this country. If you don't have choppers to cross you across the country, you cannot. And if just basic hiring cost of a chopper per 1 hour in the air, at the moment, it's around 350,000. And you are supposed to, and 50,000 just to hire one chopper for 1 hour. A chopper of five seating capacity. If you hire the bigger choppers of 10 people, 12 people, it is 500, 600. Some it is 1 million for 2 hours. Okay. So if you don't have that logistical money to fly your supporters or maybe your people you are running with from one end of the country to another end, you run for smaller cities.
Let's talk also about this small group, which you are saying that it is very rare.
Yes.
The one who are just elected without their financial muscles, just the ideologies.
What normally happens, it is a godly luck. If I use example of my neighbor Salasia, Salasia had nothing.
Sure.
And the opponent was well loaded, and they were doing a very oiled campaign. And Salasia was moving from one center to another center with a bicycle. So what happened to that kind of characters, it is what we call the sympathy votes. Because in politics, there is different types of votes. We have protest vote, we have sympathy vote, we have persuaded votes. So that is sometimes you hear that in this particular area, people are not sure whom they will vote. So those we call them persuaded votes, whoever who will persuade them. Then we have decided votes, then undecided votes. Yeah. So in politics, if you packet yourself as a poor man and come up very clearly, you win sympathy votes. So those guys survive on sympathy votes. Okay. The same thing happened to an MP, the youngest MP from Maua town.
Yes, Maua.
Yes. John Paul. That guy didn't have even a bicycle to campaign with, even a boda. So he was riding from boda from Maua town to another town. So he also won sympathy. Then this women rep from, is it Bomet?
The woman rep,
Toto. Yes. Toto did the same. She campaigned on a boda, and she didn't have even enough money to be paid. So she campaigned on behalf of, it was boda raising funds for her to campaign. So those are sympathy, those are sympathy votes. So as a politician, you must know in your constituents which are the majority of votes.
You must do a lot
of research, analysis, and background checks. I want to run in Nairobi City. For example, you want to run to become a governor or a senator of Nairobi City. What type of voters do you have in Nairobi City? One, you know they are tribal voters. So you align with the tribe that you think is the majority. Two, you know they are influenced by money. So you align with that money. In Nairobi, we don't have sympathy voters. That is why those strange cases.
So in Nairobi, what you mean is that it is about the tribe and also the money.
Nairobi, the basic thing is the tribe. No sympathy votes. Because in Nairobi, we don't have such kind of situation. Yes, those kind of situation appear in rural areas. That is Maua in Meru, Mumias, Kakamega, and then Kwakena Toto. Is it Bomet?
Bomet. Yes. So does that mean and also explains why we have poor leadership? Because at the end of the day, if this politician will invest over 50 million just to win an MP seat or governor seat or any MCA seat, that man, when he takes over the power, is going to refund the money. He's going to do his best to not to work for the people, but to
Unfortunately, that's why we have poor leadership, because the leadership, in an ideal situation, the leadership is supposed to be decided by manners, personality, strategy, plans, how you will develop people. But unfortunately, in Kenya, the leadership is determined by money. How much do you have to run an election? So if we come to that, that is why we have poor leadership. And then another thing, the middle class, or the class that believes it has some information, it has gone to school, they don't vote. So during the voting day, the middle class are in their houses, reading newspapers and watching news. So the most of the people who vote are not middle class, are the low class people, which some of them are living below $1 a day. So, and that's why politicians campaign in slums, in urban slums. Because in urban slums, you are going to talk to people who are earning $1 below a day. So you can influence that person by giving that person's 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings, 3,000 shillings. So that is how you develop the poor voters. It is the poor people who will go to vote without anything. So you will influence them by money. The people who have gone to school, or the middle class, they don't vote. They read newspapers. The upper class during election, they are outside the country. So the person who determine our leaders are the poor people who are influenced by money, who are not keen on the leadership skills and quality. So that's why we end up with a full package of leaders with poor quality and management.
And don't you think that now with the presence of the Gen Z and their raised, because recently we have had, you know, the young generation coming out and saying that, you know what, we need a good governance and a good leadership. Don't you think this is a game changer?
No.
The young generation, the Gen Zs?
The Gen Zs, how I wish they were a game changer, but they will not be a game changer. The reason is the Gen Zs have not registered as voters. And those who have registered as voters will not turn out to vote.
Really?
Yes, because in 2022, the Gen Zs, in 2024, when the Gen Z were doing, 2024, when they were doing Maandamano, they came up in large numbers. If they are able, the way they were out in large numbers, to register as voters using those large numbers, then that's a different situation. Then they will have impact. Because politics is numbers. Politics is a game of numbers.
It is not about protest.
Whether you go to protest, you protest the whole country and you don't register as voters, you will not have impact.
It is not about civil education.
It has got nothing to do with that. It is about numbers. Have you registered? If the Gen Z, which is a hot potato in politics, they can register, because there is mass registration coming next month, and then there will also be mass registration next year.
And even we had another one last year.
Yes, so if the Gen Z can register around 10 million, it will be a game changer. But so far, according to IBC records, the registration is nil. So far, Gen Z have got no political impact. They have just a perception. Tuko wengi, tutaenda maandamano. Maandamano does not appear on the ballot box. How many times you shouted in town does not appear. How many times you mobilize yourself does not appear. So the Gen Z, how I wish they could have registered. If they register, it will be a game changer.
It will be a big game changer.
It will be a big game changer, and all politicians will go back to the drawing board to accommodate them.
And we will have a good governance.
And they will have a good governance, because the Gen Z, the Gen Z generation is totally different from our generation.
So what you mean, Mr. Chapia, is that for now, we are just depending on the normal voters.
For now,
our parents.
For now, you are still, all the Gen Zs, you are depending on us millennials, your parents, your Gukas, your Shoshos. And our mentality is so different from your mentality. So we are likely to vote the same, this current generation. The way the people who voted in 2022 above 40 years or above 35 years, they are likely to vote the same, except a few who will change.
What about the nearly future?
In the near future, if the Gen Z will register, that will be a game changer. Because the Gen Z, what the parliamentarian needs to do, we need to move away from physical registration. Most Gen Zs is a digital generation, an online generation, like what you are doing. That is now where you belong. So if this registration can be moved from physical registration to digital registration, we will register so many of the Gen Zs, even 10 million, 15 million of Gen Zs. So the government needs to move very fast to pass a law. This registration to be moved from the polling centers or primary centers to be put on the digital platforms. Because Gen Z, it is a digital interface generation.
Absolutely.
So that is how now you will register. But now to wake up agency from the comfort of their houses in Kileleshwa or in Kangware or Madare to walk for another 1 kilometer looking for a primary school to go and register,
Yeah.
they have got no that time.
Okay, now let's talk about now the political realignments that we should expect in
Yes.
2026. Meanwhile, as we speak, we all know there's united opposition
Yes.
and now the government.
Yes.
And on the government side, there's UDA and ODM.
Yes.
And as we talk of ODM has two factions.
Yes.
We are talking of the team led by, Edwin Sifuna,
Yes.
the SG of
Yes.
the ODM party,
Yes.
who are totally against President Trudeau.
Yes.
And they are, they are saying they are one-term guys.
Yes.
But at the same ODM, there are a group of individuals led by, the party leader, Oburu Odinga,
Yes.
and Gladys Wanga. And
Yes.
they are saying that, it is either we form government with UDA or we go it alone.
Yes.
And we are going to support the president.
Yes.
So give us the reflection of this 2026. The other time we saw the united opposition, led by, Rigathi Gachagua, welcoming, Edwin Sifuna
Yes.
and Babu Owino, that if you are chest there, come to DCP,
Yes, yes,
and we go forward.
Yes.
So just as a communication strategist, and expert,
Yes.
from your professional point of view, can you explain what you are going to experience within our political atmosphere in the country?
Very good.
Yeah.
What is going to happen? The alignments are predictable. In this essence, ODM, they are going to have different factions, as you have explained. And what is going to break ODM completely is the NDC. In the coming NDC of ODM, the likes of Akina Sifuna. In fact, today the process of removing Sifuna as the SG of ODM has started.
Has kicked off.
Has kicked off because now the executive council of ODM is in Mombasa. They were meeting starting at 10 this morning.
And even we are receiving an information that, Caleb Amisi has been removed from national NEC.
Yes, from that neck.
Yeah.
So that is the realignment that is beginning. So that realignment, as it begins from the next to remove the rebels from the ODM, so there is that going to that alignment is going to be there, and the ODM will break completely after the NDC, because after the NDC, pro Buru team will win. Because they have resources and everything, they are well oiled. And the likes of Kina Sifunas will lose. So it will become very clear, Sifunas will not run on ODM ticket. So they will either come up with their own party or they will now rebel from ODM. So that is another alignment we are expecting. So all the followers or the people in ODM who does not believe in two-term will align with Akina Sifuna and Akina Babu.
Which is one term.
Which is now one term. All who believe in two-term will align with Oburu.
Yes.
The same thing is happening in opposition.
Yeah.
In opposition, now they also align depending on who will be chosen to be the presidential candidate. That's why Kalonzo Musyoka wants that selection to be done like yesterday. He's ready to be nominated.
Because everything favors him.
For now, everything favors
Yeah.
him. Now, and on the other side, Rigathi Gachagua does not want that nomination to take place now,
yeah.
because he will be concluding his case in January or February. So he wants to be sure that the Supreme Courts have not allowed him to run. That is now he endorsed Kalonzo. So there will be alignment because Kalonzo must be on the ballot. And if the court or the Supreme Court will allow Rigathi Gachagua to be on the ballot, then Rigathi Gachagua is also on the ballot. So now in the united opposition, it will split. So to make sure that there's alignment for Rigiji, alignment for Kalonzo. So some of the united opposition will go with Kalonzo. Some of the united opposition members will go with the Rigiji. So that is another alignment in the making. Another alignment in the making is now that what we were discussing, the shifting of politicians.
Yeah.
Some politician will discover that, no, in my area, I need to be in the DCP because the voters are aligned to. So they will also shift. So this alignment will take place till the day of nomination. After nomination, we'll have the final phase of alignment. The losers now will align themselves with the private members. They will register as independent candidates. So that will be aligned, the last alignments towards the end.
Yeah.
And then when the campaigns will kick off, There is also another alignment that will occur. When now the presidential campaign has started, you will hear that this person saying, I was a candidate in ODM or in UDA or in Jubilee. Now I am stepping down. I want my candidature to, I will support this particular candidate. So that will be the final alignment. And after election, after people have won, maybe the presidential election is done, there will still now be post-election alignment, whereby in most cases the losers or even other winners now will be running to join the government. So politics and alignment, it is our daily business. It will keep on throughout the political life.
It will be changing.
It will just be changing depending on interest and betrayal.
And betrayal. Now, we are talking of ODM. You know, there's this group that you have mentioned, the group led by, Edwin Sifuna.
Yes.
We are talking of Babu Owino, Caleb Amisi, and the others.
Yes.
And there's also, without forgetting the Kiaru Member of Parliament.
Yes, Ndindi Nyoro.
Yeah, Ndindi Nyoro. There are some of the Kenyans who feel that this is a fresh blood of young and youthful leaders who have a good ideologies and they can take this country far.
Yes.
Why don't they form their party and we follow?
Do
you see that happening?
Forming a political party is not easy, but I see that happening because these guys, this young generation, they have different ideologies of leadership, unlike the ideologies that are in established political parties. But now, marketing that party, that's why I was telling you politics is persuasion and marketing. Because the first thing when we forming our party is the easiest part. But marketing that party is the second part. And making citizens to observe and to accept the ideologies of the party you have formed, it is the hardest part. So they don't have time. That is why they are likely, if they will form their party, that party will not do well because it is a bit late. Because now people are focusing on election. They are not focusing on the parties. So the focus is on the election day. So this guy will go back now to selling their party. Maybe their party will be the People's Party of Kenya. So they start with PPK. So
Kenya
they take or Kenya Moja. So they take another 3 months, 4 months just selling the party. After selling the party, now they will go in there. Of course, politicians are ambitious. They will go into wrangle of leadership. Who is going to be the party leader? Who is going to be the chairman? Who is going to be SG? Who is going to be what? Then they will waste another time wrangling in that thing. Then another wrangle will come in this new party. These are young, hot-blooded fellows. I want to be the governor of Nairobi. Maybe they will also another governor of Nairobi. I want to be the president. I want to be the senator. And the hot potato will be maybe this new party will not have a presidential candidate. And remember, aspirants, they are attracted with parties who have the presidential candidate. So this party of this young generation will not have presidential candidate, number one. This party of young generation will not have enough resources even to buy merchandise, to market, to launch their party. Because launching a party, I remember when the TNA Jubilee was being launched, they spent over 100 million to launch a party one afternoon. One afternoon, they spend above 100 million launching a party. So that just to market it. So this new party, they don't have those resources unless Uhuru Kenyatta supports them. If they get the funders either from Uhuru Kenyatta or whatever the person they'll get, now there will be another war of how again to share the resources that has been funded. Because this is young, ambitious fellow. Babu will say, I need 10% of this because maybe I'm the chairperson. Sifuna will say, maybe I need 20% of this because I have bigger influence. So there will be wrangles.
There will be pull and push.
So now,
allow me to cut you short, sorry. We are talking of you have mentioned about political parties. Opening a political party, registering and marketing it. Maybe briefly, what are some of the factors that one should consider when, registering a political party and in general, even marketing it? In general, there is laws, there is legal procedure laid down to register a political parties, and there is some finances involved, requirement, and offices requirement. So the first thing to consider when you want to register a political party, can you meet the requirement by the law? That is the political act. It is well stipulated. Even if you read also the website of Registry of Political Parties, all the requirement. So you check, can you fit that? If you fit that, you go on, tick. Number two,
will you be able now to persuade people to become the followers of your political party?
And register with
And
the party.
register members and have aspirants to run on your political parties. If the answer is no, you stop it there. If the answer is yes, you start
So
struggling.
you'll not go far.
You will not go far. Because
Okay.
in Kenya, as we speak, we have over 74,
Yes.
75
Actually,
registered.
it was about hitting 80.
Yes, around 80
Yeah.
registered political parties.
Yeah.
How many do we know? They are less than 10. So all the other briefcase political parties. So those briefcase political parties are just for businesses. But we want a formidable political party,
Yeah.
marketing it, launching it, persuading people to join it. It is very expensive in terms of logistics, advertisement,
Yeah.
and marketing.
Yeah.
So if the likes of Kina Sifuna and Babu, we know they are very sharp. They can meet the part of legal registration. But will they meet the part of marketing the party?
Okay.
Winning aspirants?
Yes.
Having resources to go around the country? That is another story.
And earlier on, the united opposition had, pull and push.
Yes.
Especially between the DCP party and Jubilee.
Yes.
And they were, trying to give names each other. They were trying to say we want that there was this group, supporting Fred Matiang'i, and there was another team, supporting the former DP Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
Now, let us talk about these two parties,
Yes.
Jubilee and DCP, their influence within the Mount Kenya region. What is the reflection of those two parties?
Good. The reason why there is war between Jubilee and DCP party, it is because they have the same clients. Politics is local. So they are all competing for the Mrima voters. And they're in the same region, the same clients. So that is one of the factors. And then number two, when Rigiji was impeached, Rigiji won the hearts of several voters in Mrima, that is the DCP. And by that time, the Jubilee was in government. Some of the members of Jubilee were in the government. The likes of Sabina Chege were nominated MPs from Jubilee side, but they had already crossed. They were working and supporting the government. The likes of Kanini Kega, Iyala MP is now supporting the government. So the war will continue because they have different interests. Rigathi Gachagua wants a lot of political seats from the DCP seats. That's why he's rotating in Mlima
Within
Kenya.
the mountain.
The same thing, Jubilee is doing the same. They want the same pie, but fighting for the same clients. So their war will continue. Now, also, the major factor that will fuel their war is that Uhuru Kenyatta has a soft spot for Jubilee and is bringing in Matiang'i. And Rigiji wants to remain the kingpin at the mountain. So there is that conflict. So the losers in this war will be Matiang'i, because from political research that have been carried out, Rigiji has an upper hand in Mrima. So any politicians from Mrima fighting Rigiji, you can have fair chances. But an outsider, and remember Kenyan politics is tribal, Matiang'i is an outsider, being imposed by the former president. And remember the former president
Uhuru seemed like a project.
It's a project. He imposed them to Raila Odinga. So Raila Odinga was more of a project in Mrima, though he got over 1 million votes. So Matiang'i is the greatest loser because he's joining a war that he's not supposed to be participating. Is being used with Uhuru Kenyatta. Yet, for now, from research, Rigiji is controlling around 70% of the mountain.
What is the fate of those leaders who impeached him and who are now allied to the president, and they're coming from the Mount Kenya region?
Very good. What is likely to happen, it will depend with the narration, with the messaging. If Rigiji will come up with a strong message that the people who impeached him, they betrayed the community. And the community buys that idea, it is true, you betrayed us, then all of them will lose.
They will go home.
They will go home. But if the people who voted to impeach Rigiji from the mountain will overshadow that message and convince the voters that we impeached this guy for development, and they show that really development, some will survive. But generally, Rigiji went ahead of them and created an environment in Mrima or in Central that anybody who voted against me, my impeachment, is a betrayer. And it has stuck up to today.
Or anyone who is working with the president.
Or anyone who is working with the president is betraying the community.
Yeah.
So that narrative, Rigiji has sold it well. And remember, Rigiji is a powerful communicator.
And mobilizer.
A mobilizer and a communicator. So these other guys who are fighting Rigiji, most of them are not communicators. They are abusive. Rigiji ametwitisha pesa, Rigiji has done what? So they just react. But Rigiji sets the agenda. And in any conversation or in politics, if people are discussing your agenda, you are ahead of them. And Rigiji has established an agenda that it is us against them. So if you are at that level of them, you need to know how you will rearrange yourself.
Like the way the president did during 2022.
Yes.
Between the dynasties and the
hustlers. Yes.
So it is the same thing.
It is the same approach, though different, with the different intentions
angles,
and different angles.
Yeah.
So for Rigiji, if you are not with him and you voted against him, you are not even betraying Rigiji. You are doing, it is a taboo against the Mrima community.
Yeah.
So he has said that. And up to today, that is how it is.
Yeah.
So for these guys, if they want to survive, they must look for Rigiji behind the tent. Apologize behind the tent and come publicly condemn what they did. Then they will join the rest and they will survive.
And they will move on onwards.
Yes.
So we are also talking about, the other side of the government. We saw the president, last year meeting the KANU, leader.
Yes.
We are talking of Gideon
Moore, yes.
And he went there at Kabarak.
Yes.
And said, we have to work together.
Yes.
Is that one of the strategy the president was using to, prepare and have enough, support from home ahead of 2027?
Yes, politics is mobilization. And Kenyan politics is local. In Kenya, before you start being a nationalist, you must be backed by your community. That is our it is unfortunate. So any politician in Kenya, even the top leaders, even Raila Odinga, he had a base. That was Luo Nyanza. William has a base, Rift Valley.
Yeah.
Musalia had a base, Western, but shaky. So you find these leaders have bases. So if for you to go ahead and fight very well, make sure your basis is you are fighting from one point of view.
Yeah.
Like what now the president was doing. He consolidated Gideon Moore is now part of the team. The only person who is still not very sure, he's talking a bit against the president, is Alfred Kater, the former MP of, is it Nandi Hills? Yes, Nandi Hills. But now, the president has done around 90%.
He's done with it.
Yes, he has gone with it. The same thing to Rigiji. So fighting those guys, and Raila had also those type of calculation. Even so, fighting those guys without your base or without your community.
You're going nowhere.
In Kenyan politics, we still have a long way to go.
So what Rigiji is doing also, it is the right thing.
What Rigiji is doing,
to your professional point of view.
According to me, all Kenyans politicians are tribalist. It is only that the one for Rigiji has been narrated well. Because Rigiji is consolidating his base. All politicians consolidate their base, even here in Nairobi. If you want, for example, when Kidero is coming to run for the governorship, the first target will be to consolidate Luos. The same thing when Rigiji is doing. So the only difference is that Rigiji was vocal, and the narration against him, and he was saying it. But all politics with Kenya is local.
So you're meaning that there are some things in politics which are must, but you don't have to announce.
You don't have to say.
There are things that are necessary.
They are necessary.
But you don't have to mention.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is how Kenyan voters are doing. For example, in Nairobi is the most tribal city in Kenya.
Really?
Yes. And 87% of Nairobians, this is a well-established research done by local and international firms. 87% of Nairobians don't vote development. They vote as per their tribe. So 87% of Nairobians in 2027, when they will get in that voting booth, they read the names of their tribes. 87% will tick on that name.
of their fellows.
Of their community. It is only 13% that will consider development, which is a smaller fraction. So any leader who is basing that he wants to be elected on development in Nairobi County, you are fighting for 13% of voters.
13% of 100%,
Yes.
out of 100%.
Yes.
Now, let us now assume that, the united opposition, as
Yes.
of now,
Yes.
they are still together.
Yes.
And this is 2027 August.
Yes.
And the president and the ODM have come together.
Yes.
Who do you think will take the day, according to the logistics, preparation, as of now, according to both sides?
In preparations, in terms of logistic and preparation, I think the government side is ahead. And it is ahead in this essence. I want to put there the indicators of focusing. If you check now, the government has focused on election. 2027 election, I think it will be 10th of August election. So all the machinery of government are focusing on 10th. But now the united opposition, they are now focusing on who will be their presidential candidates.
Flag bearer.
The flag bearer. So you find out that the other side is already decided and running it, building their candidate, marketing their candidates. This side, they're still marketing individuals. We are not sure is it Kalonzo, is it Rigiji, is it Eugene Wamalu, is it Natembea? Is Natembea still with the united opposition, and so on and forth. So in terms of focusing, the government side is ahead. It has focused. They have a candidate. And even you heard the other day, Oburu Odinga was telling the people in Kisumu, even the running mate slot, we don't have issues with it. Even Wanga was saying now we have left that. So the government side, they already have the presidential candidate, and it is upon the presidential candidate to choose the running mate.
Yeah.
This opposition side, they will finish the O of the presidential candidate. Then they start another O
Of the
deputy president.
Candidate,
And the time will be moving. And after the opposition will declare it is either Kalonzo or Natembea or Rigiji, there will be fallout. There is some people who will disagree with that. So they will not even have time to unite again. Same thing will happen to their presidential and to their running mate. So in terms of focus, the government is focused.
It is ahead.
It is ahead of.
So if elections were held today,
Yes.
the president
will
be re-elected.
President will be re-elected because he's already, we all know that from the other side of UD or Kenya Kwanza, the candidate is President Ruto. And from this other side is where we'll have the swing votes. We have some voters who are for Kalonzo, some voters who want Rigiji, some voters who want Eugene and Natembea. So if Kalonzo will be chosen, the voters of Rigiji, the voters of Eugene and the voters of Natembea, they will become a swing vote. They can be persuaded, now depending on the good persuasion, either to vote on the president's side or to vote with the Kalonzo. So now that will be the swing vote. Again, out of those four, if it is Kalonzo who has been nominated, some voters for Rigiji will protest. Waseme we cannot vote for him. We wanted Rigiji. They will protest voting to William Ruto. The same thing voters for Natembea, Eugene, or any other presidential candidate, they will protest. And some voters from now Kalonzo's side will be bitter. Why are these guys not supporting our candidates? And they will see now, because it is Kalonzo alone against William, so Kalonzo is likely to lose. So they will have voter apathy. Now the voters, the Kalonzo voters, then will have voter apathy. So the turn-up will be very low.
So there is need for them, the united opposition, to agree on the presidential candidate earlier. As
earlier as yesterday, according to me. So that they focus, they start marketing their presidential candidate, because presidential candidate is...
And also there is the need of agents and other things.
Yes, there's so much logistics to run a presidential election. That is why it is very expensive.
Collecting resources and so on.
Resources for mobilization, training of agents. In Kenya, we have over 48,000 polling streams. For example, if you go to like Kawangware Primary, you find it is a polling center, but it has over 37 streams. So to have agents in all those 37 streams, it is a huge work. So for you to prepare for presidential agents, you need over 600,000 people who will be your
600.
president. Yes, you're in your presidential age. 222 per polling street.
And you have to pay them.
You have to pay them. So you need money. Apart from that, paying them is even easier. Training them on how the agent is supposed to be. If it is another huge,
and how to act.
And how to act, to respond, to detect if there is election malpractice and all that. Then that is another story. So these guys, President Ruto has already started because UDA now they have done election at the polling center. Now, from out of 48,000 polling centers in Kenya, UDA have already elected 20 people to be at the polling center to represent them. Now they are moving to the ward level. So they are recruiting, they have started recruiting their army and
their
their
process
agents.
has already
kicked off. These other guys, they are still fighting on who will be the president. And then the person who will be the president, he will start again campaigning at the same time trying to look for agents. So on the logistics, I pity them.
So it will be a mess up.
On the logistic, it will be a mess. Because they will try to share who you, because they will, maybe Kalonzo will tell the Giji, look, get me agents in Mrima. So you get me agents. It will be a total confusion. It will happen like what happened to Baba. Baba in the 2022 election, he did not have agents, even here in Nairobi, leave alone the entire central. Even here in Nairobi, Baba did not have agents.
The preparation was poor.
The preparation was poor. The logistic arrangement was poor. So Ruto, the government is ahead of them. So when that election is called today, this man has already 20,000 per polling center. So he can distribute those 20 way in here, this room, this and this and this and this. These guys, they have not even decided who is the presidential candidate. So those are some of the things that I'm looking how the opposition are preparing to run for this election. I think they are preparing to become a cattle deep chairperson.
I think they will listen for this. But there's also this group where, they are saying, the president has no ground. Many people, what he has done for the last 4 years is totally, he has performed poorly. And he has no chances of being re-elected by the people. Apart from now, what you're talking about, the preparation, logistics and everything. We are talking of this one person will go and vote. Do you think that the president has enough, support from them? We are talking of, payslip holders. We are talking of generally the performance.
Look, let me answer that. When you are judging a person to be fair or to be neutral, you use indicators. Or apart from using the indicators, use performance contract. Apart from that, you basically compare when President Ruto joined the government, A was being done, but now he has done B. So that is the approach I will take. When President Ruto joined the government, the NSSF, not NSSF, NHIF had around 7 million registered. 3.5 million Kenyans were benefiting from NHIF. That is when he joined the government. And that NHIF was for only the employers. Either you are working in a private sector like you guys, you contribute to get treatment from NHIF, government employers, civil servant, military, teachers, and all that. But now when he brought in SHA, as per yesterday, the total number of Kenyans who have registered in SHA is around 31 million. Which means the people who are now being taken care under the medical care, they have moved from 4.7 million to 31 million. Which means now the health coverage is covering more Kenyans than it was in 2022 when the president was joining. There is some small issues, development issues. SHA is not working, SHA is doing what? SHA is like an insurance firm. It has limits and it has inpatient and outpatient. So in terms of the medical cover, the president Ruto has enlarged because NHIF was only covering civil servants and the government employees and employees in the private sectors. Now SHA is covering Mama Mboga, it is covering Boda Boda, it is covering street children, it is covering everybody. So in terms of health, if I can argue in terms of SHA, I will say that the coverage, the insurance has moved from 4.7 million in NHIF to 31 million in this particular government. Also, another area that is touching directly on our life When President Ruto was joining government, Kenya was the poorest country without dollars. We didn't have dollars. So we didn't have the exchange rate because our dollar, as per that time, it was 163 Kenya shillings. The exchange rate, $1 was equivalent to 163 shillings. So all the dollar business in Kenya, all the dollars were withheld because the dollar, our shilling had lost value. But as per today, which is around 3.5 years after that, our dollar has stabilized at 126, 128, 129. So we have gained the value. So that one means our economy has grown. Some people might not feel it because of sometimes lack of employment and some other things. But basically, the economy has grown, the dollar has stabilized. And also internationally, when President Ruto joined this government, the economy of Nairobi, we call it GDP. In Africa, we were number 8. As per last week, the ratings of the World Bank, we are now number 6. We have moved ahead of Angola and Ethiopia. So we are the 6th most powerful economic nation in Africa, from number 8. Within these few years, the president has been in office. So in that terms of economical, if you look at objectively, you find out that we have grown. The country has grown. That is that particular level of aspect. If I move on another aspect, it's about education system in Kenya. When President Ruto joined the government, the teachers were being employed, 10,000 teachers per year. And we had less by around 100, over 100 teachers. But for the last 3 years, he has employed over 100 teachers. And this one, you can do your own independent research. You can check with the TSC website. 2022, how many teachers were on our payroll? This time, how many teachers are there? So this guy, in terms of teaching, he has improved the system. This guy has developed CBC to CBE, that curriculum, and now there is transition taking place. Now, when we come to the issue of payslip, when the dollar was unstable, the president needed to make radical changes so that to stabilize the dollar. And how do you stabilize unstable dollars? By increasing the local currency, that is the Kenya shillings. So that's why tax went a bit higher.
So high.
Some say so high, some say a bit higher. Then recently, now the president has announced, today when the parliament is open today, there is a government bill that is going to parliament saying that anybody earning below 30,000 will be tax-free. And anybody earning below 50, 5% free.
There are some of the Kenyans who argue that that is one of the strategy the president is using, to campaign and, regain back his popularity.
Then it must be a very good strategy. In politics, it is persuasion and strategies. Because if the president will make me, if I was earning 30,000, I removed 16% and all taxation, maybe I remained with 18,000. Now I have 12 million. That is what the president promised. Hustlers, pesa mfukoni. So the president is returning the money. So it is not a campaign gimmick. The president had this idea in 2022 when we were campaigning. We were saying, UDA, pesa mfukoni. Now it is time for pesa mfukoni. So why are people, it is not campaign gimmick. It was in his manifesto. It is part of his manifesto. Wakenya watakana pesa mfukoni.
So according to you, as far as all factors are considered, if the election were held today, the president will still be re-elected.
If the elections were held today, the chances
considering all factors,
there is nobody to beat William Ruto.
So the opposition should pull up their socks.
They have to pull out their socks.
And they should announce their flag bearer
as
soon as possible.
And the major problem with the opposition, this one-term wagon, it is not generating ideas. They are just saying one term. They should tell people why they want one term. If it is one term because of this, they say. Or if it is one term because of this, the government has failed. They specify.
We saw Rigathi Gachagua saying, when we say one term, we mean reversing everything the president has done.
How would you reverse a growing economy? Who wants to be poor? How would you reverse economy that is moving from the 6th? We were number 8 in 2022. Now we are the 6th strongest economy. Rigathi wants to reverse our economy to become number 50 in Africa. So how do you reverse development? Our children, you want to reverse development. My child is in primary, others in university. You want to reverse their academic growth. How do you reverse yourself? Now that for those who are earning below 30,000. So Rigathi and the president has removed the taxes. So Rigathi will reverse. So they get taxed. It is illogical. It is not well thought.
Okay.
Opposition should have strategists to advise them before they make any pronouncement.
Okay, that's great, and I believe they will watch this conversation and they do what is needed to be done.
Yes.
So that is, as we conclude, in 2017, you were a senatorial aspirant, Nairobi. 2022, you wanted to be a Dagoretti member of parliament. Yes. Maybe in 2027, what is the plan maybe? In 2027,
the person who stole my certificate, we will meet him at the ballot. Yes, that is my plan.
Okay.
Yes, that's my plan. We will meet at the ballot.
So you might contest for the
we will, if I will be on the ballot, I will contest. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for coming.
Asante
it has
sana.
been an amazing conversation having with you, and I do believe that you'll be here regularly. We discuss about the national issues that will help our policymakers to make the right decisions.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best.
Asante sana.
So that is where we conclude our conversation together with our communication expert and electoral strategist, Mr. Chapia Chapia, who has been right here with me in the studio. We have discussed about so much about the political alignments we should expect in 2026, and even the possible chances of winning the August 2027 general election. Also, remember that you can reach us through the contact that has been provided below for business. We'll reach to you. So see you in the next interview and conversation. I've been your host, Nixon Njau.